Hello and welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports. And today we're going to do a reaction video on a video I just watched on GCN. And GCN is pretty good about certain things. They actually just recently did a video that I guess they've taken down because Peak Torque called them out on their testing procedures, protocol, whatever, that was not going to prove what they were trying to prove. But this particular video is about the differences in tires, and then tubes. 3 sets of tires, 3 different inner tubes. So a standard butyl tube, I think a lighter butyl tube, and then a TPU tube. And then the tires, a bargain value friendly type tire, a mid-range tire, and then their top end tubed tire. So let's get this out. Nothing was tubeless. It was all a tubed, all 3 tires were tube setups. I'll put the link down below. It's called The Difference Tires Will Make, The Tires Make Will Blow Your Mind. All right. They took a climb. I think it was 11 kilometers. So whatever that comes out to be. I think 10 miles is 10 kilometers is 6.2. So a little over a 6, maybe 7 mile climb. And they launched out in a handicap scenario. So slowest tire first, mid-range tire next, highest performance tire, and when I say tire, I mean tire tube combination last. With a 30-second gap between the low performance tire, mid-range tire, and the high performance tire. Within a minute's time, the highest performing tire tube combination was able to catch and bridge that gap to the other 2 riders. Now, it's interesting, it's not evident at the beginning, but it's one of these topics that I constantly talk about here on this channel, where people obsess about the weight of things. Now, granted, we don't want to ride a 30-pound bike when we could ride a 20-pound bike. Or we don't want to ride a 20-pound bike if we could ride a 18, 17-pound bike. And I'm using these numbers because I ride steel bikes, right? You can get a carbon bike much lighter than that. But for example, I've had 3 exchanges just today, 3 of them, with folks asking about Ritchie bikes. One was a breakaway, one was a used Ritchie Road Logic, and then the third was also a Road Logic conversation. In the breakaway conversation, the gentleman had a goal of about 18 pounds. Well, the thing is, the breakaway weighs more than the standard road bike, the standard Road Logic. And you have to spend quite a bit of money to drop the weight of that bike, any steel bike for that matter, to get to that 18-pound limit. The larger the size, the larger, the frame is, but then, handlebars are wider, stems, C-posts, whatever. So I told the gentleman, hey, look, you can do it. It's kind of in the ballpark, but please don't go into a bike build with that target number, with a target weight in mind, because I don't want to disappoint you when we put good quality stuff on there and it doesn't hit your target, right? So I tell folks, look, we build a bike with quality components and the weight is what it is, right? And I say this often, the 1 or 2 pound difference between your bike and let's say someone else's carbon bike, your steel bike, I should say, and someone else's carbon bike, 1 to 2 pounds when you look at the system weight. So the bike, the rider, the water bottles, the computer, the cell phone in your pocket, which is, hundreds of grams, by the way, your food, all that stuff, toolkit. Did I mention lights yet? So there's just all this stuff that you are going to put on your bike, that you're going to put on your person when you ride your bike. When the bike goes up the hill, it's not going up by itself without pedals and all this other stuff, that games that people play to make their bike feel or appear lighter when they post it on social media, right? The bike only goes up that hill with you on top of it, with all the stuff in your pockets, with all the other accessories on your bike. That's how that bike goes up the hill. So you are a system, and a 1 to 2 pound difference in bike weight eventually gets washed out when you're talking about a 180 pound system, right? About a 160 pound rider, about 20 pounds of bike, bottles, and these are very very conservative estimates. You should see some of the bikes that come in here. So, having said all of that, I was leading to this one thing. Ollie Bridgewood on GCN said that 1 minute advantage in rolling resistance of those tires, of his high performance tires and his TPU setup, is the equivalent. So 1 minute within a 7 kilometer, because he caught the other two within 7 kilometers. 1 minute within those 7 kilometers. I don't know how he did this math, but he always calculates it back into something else that is tangible. And in this case, he said it was about 4 kilos of weight difference. 4 kilos, 8.8 pounds or so. So let's just call that 9 pounds. So how hard is it for you to lose 9 pounds of body weight? How hard is it for you to lose 9 pounds of bike weight? Just the bike itself, right? Not 9 pounds of body weight, 9 pounds of system weight, maybe. But the rolling resistance of those tires and tubes, in this case, was equivalent to that. We always used to say I used to manage a triathlon store, mainly triathlon. It was high-end road and triathlon. Nitro Multisports, if anyone knows that, and another one as well. But we used to say you could just buy speed, right? And of course, we were at that time more talking about aerodynamic equipment, aero bars, wheel choices, that kind of stuff. But now you can buy speed because tires have improved immensely over the last 10, 15, 20 years. So tubes, inner tubes in a TPU setup or tubeless, the carcass, the TPI, all that stuff, right? All of that has improved significantly. So you can buy speed by buying reduced rolling resistance. Anyway, so the headline or the punchline to all of this is, for my weight weenies out there, let's think more about rolling resistance as opposed to the grams that something is lighter than something else. Also, if you're not going uphill, let's think about the aerodynamics of your wheels, clothing. You know, if you're wearing baggy clothing, if something is fluttering, whether that be your jersey, your vest, you have it half open, half zipped, all of that flapping, that's aerodynamic drag, right? Your chin straps on your helmet, all of these things, right, are considered aerodynamic drags. So let's not obsess about weight. I say this often in my channel, don't be a weight weenie. Think about some of these other things that you can do that, you know, don't cost thousands of dollars to do, to make you faster, make you more efficient down the road, going down the road. Okay, that's all for today. It's a reaction to a GCN video. I guess it was released 2 days ago. Showed up in my feed today, so I said, why not? Let's watch it. Let's see what GCN is selling today. So they were selling Pirelli tires, Pirelli tires, Pirelli tubes, but you know, Pirelli takes care of them on that channel, so they got to do what they got to do. But hopefully the science is there, and we can use that for whatever tire choice you want to ride. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Let's hear some comments down below. Should we think more about weight? Because weight always matters going uphill. You know, all of these other things, right? Wheel weight, outermost diameter of the wheel, which Swiss side did a video about that and said, no, that's not as important. Aerodynamics is more important. So many competing decisions, opinions. Okay, thank you so much. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of summer. Today is March 31st of 2025. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of summer. If you're getting value out of this content, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you up the road.